Okay, we're live. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's the 50th anniversary for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So that's what we're going to be watching here tonight. So yeah, that's two streams now this week. And I just realized that, yeah, the 22nd, that'll be coming up real soon. So that'll be the 30th anniversary for Casino. We'll be watching that next after this. But, there's a couple people in the chat. It's a weekday right now, so yeah, hopefully you're all doing well. And oh yeah, I think I did forget to provide a link. You guys know, where to watch it. So at this point, I've been sharing the link out to you guys for so long. I think you guys know how to access it. But yeah, I think what's this movie like 2 hours, some minutes, 2 hours and like 2:15 around 2:14. So we'll try to get this started a little bit sooner than later. See if we can maybe keep this around a 2 hour stream. And yeah, other than that, things are good. So we'll go ahead and check in with the chat now. So I can do that. Okay, here we go. And we have Russell Collier's here. What's up, Russell? Good to see you here. Hopefully everything's good with you. Yeah, in the humanoid chat. And we got George is here too. It's good to see George is here. I mentioned your channel on my channel in the community post, and it looks like your channel did roll over the 1K mark. So congratulations to you, man. It's good to see. I'm glad that worked out. So you were so damn close. It was like, yeah, I gotta make a post for that. We gotta get him over, 1K. But yeah, it's good to see, man. It's good to see now your channel is, opened up to other things that you can like to access and do and all that. So like, that's usually like the good part about hitting 1K and all that. But yeah, congratulations to you, George. And Russell's saying he was 19 years old when this came. Oh, did I? Fuck. Oh no, I hit a button by accident. I hope I didn't just ban Russell from the fucking chat. Not again. No. I did this before with George by accident. Damn, it says Russell was banned and their comments were removed. Fuck. Yeah, man, I wish they could fucking have a back button for that. But Russell, if you're still there, I'm so sorry, dude. I hit the button by accident. I meant to highlight your comment and it says you're banned and the comment was removed. Jesus Christ. But man, fuck. It's the second time I've done that to someone on here. Jesus Christ. Oh man, I'm so sorry about that, Russell. But that'll definitely be fixed and by the next stream. I know that's for sure. But yeah, sorry about that, man. Really sorry about that. But I mean, maybe you'll, still tune in or whatever and just, listen to us or whatever. But where was I at? Damn, dude, that fucked me up. Can't believe I did that. All right, let's take our time. So yeah, here goes. George is saying, yeah, I mentioned you in return in a way. So thank you, Sean. Yeah, no problem at all, man. Really, no problem. Like, I just want to see how long it took you. Just not that it matters. I just want to look up your channel and see how long you've been on here for. Oh, now it dropped down to $9.99. But it was definitely there at 1K. So once it hits, it matters. So yeah, you've been on here since 2015. Like My original account was about around that time, like 2014. So it's, yeah, you put some time in for that, man. It's well deserved. And yeah, Anthony's saying, "How you doing, buddy?" By the way, I had a blood drawn today. I think he's really saying. Yeah, I had to get some blood drawn. I want to suck your blood. Girlfriend, check it on me. I don't know what you're talking about, Anthony. You always got me all over the place. But I'm looking forward to Mandalorian and Grogu. That's saying I'm wearing a Mandalorian shirt tonight. Still can't believe a fucking band, bro, like that. Yeah, no, yeah. George is saying at least when you did it with me, I got a good laugh out of it. Yeah, because I was like, "Fuck, dude, I think he might be pissed." Like, because that's another thing with, when you interact with people on here and you don't always see people face to face and you don't always talk to them all the time, like you don't know how they're gonna, take things and understand shit. So like, I was like genuinely like worried. I was like, "Fuck, dude, I think he might be pissed and like think I did that shit on purpose." Kind of feel the same way about Russell right now, but I don't know. I think Russell understands. They still need to have some kind of back button for that. I just buttons are already small enough as it is. But yeah, Anthony's been here since about 2015, so yeah, pretty much same time period for most of us here in the chat. Yeah, 10 years, right? But yeah, I know my first channel it was like I think my sign up date was like February 2014. I think that channel hit 1K like around 2020, something like that, and then it got terminated like a couple of years later when I was around like 18. I think it was like really close to 2K actually. It was like 18,000 or 1,800 subs, and yeah, just trying to work my way back up to getting somewhere near there again. But fuck, man. But no, it's really good to see you at 1K finally. But yeah, this movie we're watching tonight, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This is actually a movie that me and my mom will usually watch around this time of year, like around the holidays. This is like an all-time favorite for her, on top of movies like Christmas Story and some other little black and white stuff that she's grown up with or whatever. But this is definitely a movie that I remember watching with my mom, like just countless numbers of times that I'm watching this, and yeah, it's just such an enjoyable movie. It's good to see it at 50 years old, and yeah, we should have some fun watching this one tonight. So where are we at now? We're about 10 minutes into this. See, actually, I do want to try to see if we'll get this right on the. We'll get the show on the road here. So if you guys do, or anyone that wants to join in, you know how to access the movie and all that. So I would recommend getting ready because we'll go ahead and get this going here soon. Trying to get this rewound in. Give me just a moment. I'll be back in just a couple seconds. Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to get to the menu here. We'll do a 10-1 here real soon. I'm actually still sporting the original Snapcase Warner Brothers DVD. I know that this was, I think there is like a Warner Brothers standard Blu-ray for it, but really would like to see this movie get the full 4K restoration so I can finally put this thing to rest. Because the main issue with this DVD really is aspect ratio. It's like you have to zoom your screen in and stuff to get it to be in like proper widescreen and all that shit. And it's also one of those double-sided disc and everything. But one thing I've always enjoyed about well, some snap cases is how when they open up, some of them will give you a little bit of an extra open out, so you can actually get, a full scene right there. Not all these snap cases will do this. Some of them will just be a regular single fold out or whatever, but that's one of the more unique ones. And this, honestly, I think this was released in the 1997. This DVD was released, so that's how old this thing is. But I still, I found that at a flea market sealed, brand new sealed, I think for like $1 or $2. I find a lot of sealed DVDs at this one flea market I go to, but that was definitely one I found. But I do want to see that get upgraded. So, all right, let's go ahead. Trying to get subtitles going. Hate these old DVDs in the menus. Well, at least these Snapcase ones. All right. This there. All right, we're going to do a 10-1 now. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play, motherfuckers. Here's I hit the wrong button. But yeah, I guess originally this was a United Artists production, and I guess what Warner Brothers must have scooped it up years later or whatever. But time I see that United Artists logo, though, I can never like help to think that it's just like it's completely run by Scientologists. So, and oh yeah, got a picture to share. I see a Johnny's down there in the chat. Mm. We have a message from Nurse Ratchet. Louise Fletcher. Perfect timing with like that creepy, weird music, that's kicking in during the credits of this. uh, yeah, George is saying the advantage and disadvantages of putting your trust in technology, right? Piece of shit. So Anthony said he's at 1.7K. That's good though. Takes a long time, a lot of dedicated work to get those high numbers. The one guy that's in the movie Ghost, he plays the ghost in the subway with Patrick Swayze. He's in a really good Tales from the Crypt episode. Season 3, I think, Morning Mess, something like that. But he's been in quite a few memorable things, that's for sure. But I think he died in like a or something like that. See when he died. And figure out his name. I don't even know his name right now. Like as the movie opens up, it's like a new day and everything. It's early morning, but like I feel like as soon as Nurse Ratched walks in, it's like that authority vibe is like it's right there. It's like, yeah, I run this shit. Like, you know, I just kind of get that feeling from her, just the way she walks in, presents herself, the way people acknowledge her and everything, and you know, show her general respect or whatever. It's time for the fucking music because it's medication time. I love when Jack Nicholson gets all fired up over the music. He wants to get it turned down and shit. So many good moments in this movie. And yeah, there goes Johnny. Holla, bro. Yeah, dog will hunt. Dog will hunt. Get that bitch Leatherface. Try and pull up that picture. There we go. Dog will hunt. Wouldn't be surprised if the dog is lurking. The dog ain't lurking, the dog's hunting. But yeah, good to see you here, Johnny. And yeah, everything's all right. You know, things all good. Just finally getting back to doing some streams here again. But this is where, you know, Jack Nicholson, what's his name again? Mick something. It's where he's being brought into the hospital. But yeah, Johnny, I'm pretty sure you collect physical media and stuff, right? Pretty sure you do. But you got my email address. I want to try to send you something with the holidays coming up, but might try to do it a little bit early because of I don't know. Like I really hate shipping stuff when it gets closer to Christmas because it's just such a hassle, and your package has more of a chance of being lost in transit and everything. So I might try to like I want to see what movies you own, and I want to see if I can send you a few things for Christmas this year. And you know, just like I mean, like another thing too with that is just like you know, like you've sent me stuff in the past, so I just want to you know, it's that time of year, so I figure I'd send you something. But I just got to see what kind of movies you have in your collection and all that, and I know I still have plenty of things still sealed. Actually, I could you know part with that. I already have my own copies of too. Yeah. So I got my phone on a different stand right now, and unfortunately, like half of it's blocking it down in this area. That's hard to fucking say. So, new stand's not really working out. But apparently, Brad Dourif, apparently he won an award for this, along with you know this movie winning what I think a total of five. I think the movie altogether won like 5 awards, something like that. But this is where Jack's trying to get the attention of the Indian guy. You know, Michael, yeah, that's right. Michael Berryman is in this, but he's like more in like the background, doesn't talk. So it's like there's a lot of times I forget that Michael Berryman's actually in this movie. Anthony's saying, looking forward to Thanksgiving. Yeah, isn't that a late one this year? I think like the 27th or something. Some shit like that. But no, the weather's starting to drop. Day by day, it's getting colder and colder. I'm going backwards in the chat. Why? Johnny saying subs or inches or subscribers. Congrats. All right, we got Russell back. All right. Yeah, so sorry about that, Russell. Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, rest of the stream, I'm going to take my time with the buttons this time and not move so fast. That's another thing that just happened, and talking and reading at the same time. I think my head got a little scrambled there and I hit the wrong button. Another good character actor that's in this is, what's his name again? Sidney Lassick or LASIK or whatever. It was in movies like Alligator. I know he's also in another really weird horror movie called The Unseen. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one. It's a movie with Barbara Bach is in it. 1980 movie. It's like a oversized man-child living in a basement. So yeah, this one's really fucking out there. That's for sure. Russell, I bet you probably seen it. If I had to assume, because I know you know your 70s and 80s horror movies. I bet you've probably seen it. So this is where they're evaluating Jack Nicholson's character here. Like, another thing is, I think the reason why he, gets inserted into this institution is because he's just completely misunderstood and they're afraid of him. Like, I don't even think they legit think he's really insane. They just don't know what to fucking do with this dude. Yeah, thanks for understanding that, Russell. Total accident. It's just every time I've like done that, I just always feel like, fuck, man. Someone's probably like, fucking asshole, why did you do that? And we got Mike is here from Old Movie Mike. Good evening. What's up, Mike? Thanks for stopping by. Current timestamp on my end is 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Still in the middle of the interview right now. It's good to see Mike's here. Yeah, Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd, yeah. It's like the whole movie with Danny DeVito is like his eyes are like squinting. He's the whole time he's like, I know at some point, Christopher Lloyd, like he has like a whole like spiel, like a whole meltdown spiel at some point. Like, actually, I really can't remember last time I did watch this. It's been probably at least a year or so, something like that. But yeah, George Sailor Outlaw saying, "Who can forget about Jack Daniels?" And here's Johnny Quo from the Shining. Yeah, to me, I think like really just going off the top of my head, like three roles from Jack Nicholson that stand out the most for me is Cuckoo's Nest, The Shining, And I'll even go as far as say Easy Rider. Like I really enjoy him in that. So well, he's been in so many good things. That's another thing. It's really hard to. It's not easy to just do a top three like that. Just overlook everything else he's done. I mean, I grew up with him and enjoying him as Joker, the Batman, and everything, but there's some things about his performance in that movie nowadays when I watch it, I'm just like, especially the whole dance scene in Tim Burton's Batman. Oh, it's just like, man. I always just want to like get like if I'm watching the movie, I just like get up and walk out of my room and wait till it's over. But other than that, I think Jack Danielson. I'm sorry, Jack Nicholson is he's pretty good. It's a pretty good Joker. Besides that one scene, really, just said Jack Danielson. And I also think this was Brad Dourif's first movie. Not exactly sure on that. I think I might be right. You. Now they're doing their stretching exercises and all this shit. I love how it really becomes like such a head-butting game between Nurse Ratched, Jack Nicholson's character, and everything. What's his name again? McMurphy or something like that. Like another thing is that really blows my mind in this movie is when you find out about how a certain amount, like there's certain characters that aren't restricted to be there, and they're just there, like just because like they can go home at any time. Like, or like the first time I saw that, I heard, I was like, what the fuck would these dudes want to be sitting here living like this? But Uh, we don't even have like what loony bin asylums anymore, right? And so Russell's saying congrats to George and Anthony. And okay, how to read this channel name here. Watusis? Hey, what's up there, Watusis? 445. What's up, man? What's this? Movie for movie lovers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. To explain that in a nutshell with this one, definitely. But yeah, welcome to the channel. Timestamp is 1717 on my end, but we also have Stephanie S is here too, not H, S. So I always fuck that up for some reason. But yeah, she's saying hello, CWO friends. Yeah, good to see you here, Stephanie. Hope all's well with you. You know, like they're in this group meeting now, and I don't know why Nurse Ratchet just starts talking to the one dude about personal information about his wife, like with the whole crowd there. Like I just think that's like, what are you doing? Like there's a time and a place for this conversation. And at the same time, it's like McMurphy is like, you know, taking mental notes from all this, listening, you know, kind of just eavesdropping on this conversation, which he has no choice but to do. Why don't you knock off the bullshit and get to the point? Christopher Lilly's starting shit now. I'm not just talking about my life, I'm talking about my life. This is a good line here, too. Talking about God, the devil, heaven, and hell. Have you stand violently? It's like such a good line. Literally took him that quick to all get so worked up to over some nonsense. You trying to say I'm queer? You trying to say I'm queer? Oh shit. Mr. Harding, they're all ganging up on you. Oh shit. So Stephanie is finishing up X-Files. Need to jump into this and jump into this now. Yeah, I haven't seen the X-Files in years. I know I have the first season on like Blu-ray. Actually, I have the first season on Blu-ray, but I haven't watched anything beyond that in years. Like when that show used to air, I never caught it like every week. It was like pretty randomly, just like every now and then I would happen to find it on, like find a new episode on TV, like growing up with that show in the 90s. But I would like to go back and watch all of that, like, you know, all the seasons. And didn't they make like two movies or something like that? I think they did some shit like that. I think didn't like Netflix also make like a movie or something like maybe like 10 years ago at this point? I forget, but I've always been a fan of the X Files. Just not, I'm just not like a like some kind of like aficionado or whatever, like you know, X Files super fan. But yeah, I've always liked the X Files though. Yeah, Stephanie's saying this movie is in an alternative universe for Doc Brown. So you just pull up a Michael J. Fox, you know, like or Michael J. Fox has like a baby. It's just like cradling him like a baby. So now they're outside enjoying their recess. As the restricted ones have to stay behind the gate, the other ones get to go out in the bus. McMurphy's going to go ahead and get to know the Indian a bit more. It's the same. It's another actor that died too young. The guy from the Poltergeist movies and shit. I don't know his name. Come on, Chief. You want to play some basketball? I'll show you how to play. It's an old Indian game. No, it's not. Old Indian game. And let's get back to the chat here. Like everyone thinks, Chief, the Indian, is just completely like a mute, just dumb as shit. But it really, like, what turns out to be what it is you just have to know how to talk to the guy. And McMurphy eventually, finds a way to peel those layers apart to get through to him. And, even with other patients in this movie too, is like similar kind of situations. It's just, some people you kind of have to be patient with, or you have to kind of talk to a certain individual on a certain type of level. But no, back then the answer was to not deal with these people. Let's just throw them in asylums, pay people to fucking overlook them and take care of them and all this shit. Mike, old movie Mike. I got this out. To watch months ago. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know you have a very big collection, Mike. You have a vast collection of movies, especially whenever you're yeah, a lot of times on your channel you're usually like referring to like a lot of like Western type of films too, and I usually can end up getting like a history lesson just from like watching shit on your channel. But yeah, good to see you. You're doing well and hanging out with us here tonight for this. He's on top of that Italian guy's shoulders now. It's amazing how it's taken him forever to show the Chief just how to slam dunk a ball because he has the height advantage. You can't do that, but eventually he can get him to throw a fucking giant water sink through a window so they can escape. Put it in the basket, Chief. Of course, Ratchet in the window. Louise Fletcher, man. You got her. I to me, she's the type of actress like you get her like in a role that she's like locked into, like just fully engaged into. It's like she really becomes transformed. Like, she's always been that type of actress for me. Trying to think what other movies she was in that freaked me out when I was a kid. Maybe. This is when they're playing the card game and Danny DeVito keeps taking a fucking cigarette, breaking it in half because he's betting a dime. He's like, you can't fucking bet that. You break it in half, it becomes 2 nickels, you get shit. Just trying to look up some Louise Fletcher movies real quick. Yeah, Invaders from Mars. Toby Hooper's Invaders from Mars. When I was a kid and I first saw that, and that scene when the kid walks into the room and she turns around and she has the frog in her mouth and the legs are all like hanging out of her mouth and everything. That's the also the scene when you realize that she's not just you know an irritating bitch of a teacher. She's actually, an alien. So like I was a kid and I saw that scene like really freaked me the fuck out. But that's another movie I really liked a lot when I was a kid though. Toby Hooper's Invaders remake. But yeah, George is saying no great movie in general will be complete without seeing characters try and get in shape. Yes. Yeah. This is where McMurphy's gonna get fed up with Martini here. You don't count into this and that it is. And the whole time Martini likes to look at other people's cards and shit. So it's just impossible for them to play a legit game of, poker, whatever, anything, any kind of card game. And I do love how they incorporate like the World Series into this. Like this is supposed to be taking place in like I think '63. This movie. This is where McMurphy walks behind the counter to turn down the radio. Just wanted to turn it down. Yeah, Mike, old movie Mike. The Last Detail with Jack Nicholson is a top 5 movie for me. He's saying the one where he's escorting Randy Quaid to Navy prison. I've never seen that one actually, so thank you for mentioning that one. Last Detail. I'll have to check that one out. I also realized today that the one I have to get scheduled the end of December that's going to be 30 years old is actually 12 Monkeys. I want to do a stream for that one. I think that's December 29th. We also have Michael Mann's Heat, going to be 30 years old in December. So that will probably be popping up on the channel also. Some random info off the top of my head there. Yeah, Russell Collier is saying the Last Detail was filmed in Halifax, Toronto. Canadian production. And, yeah, she kind of threatens McMurphy there about taking the medication, because he doesn't want to take it. She's like, well, maybe we can have you take it some other way. Like, obviously sounding polite about it, but you can only imagine how rough that other way of taking the medication would probably be. So he fakes taking the pill here. He just puts it under his tongue and just drinks the water. Another good movie with Louise Fletcher is Flowers in the Attic. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one, 1987 movie. Got like an overbearing mother. I think like she keeps her kids like trapped in the house, all this shit. But I don't know. I haven't seen it in years, but I do have it in my collection somewhere. It's like the mother in it's like a religious fanatic and all this shit. All right, guys, just give me a second. I'm gonna go grab another Dr. Pepper, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, old movie Mike. Jack Nicholson was untouchable in the 70s. Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. You are right about that, dude. May or may not know. Did a great Al Capone. Russell saying, I am the motherfucking Shore Patrol. Last Detail line. I gotta see that, honestly. I gotta try to get around to seeing that. You know, it's another one I've only seen parts of, and I wanna finally see it in full is Chinatown. That's another one of his. I've only seen, like, I remember when I was a kid, I would find parts of it on TV, and I would just wouldn't really pay attention to it. So I had no idea really what was going on, but that's another one of his I want to say. And Stephanie S. Crazy 88. 7. That The Shining gives me chills just thinking about it. Yeah. It's the whole Overlook Hotel for me, really. It's not just Jack Nicholson. It's just I also feel like there's like so much mystery to it, and then like years later finding out more and more about like the hidden things and messages from Stanley Kubrick that he inserted into the movie. Like I think that even plays on like your psyche as a fan of it. So it's movie's just fucking perfect. And you know what? Speaking of The Shining, I remember the first time I've ever seen anything of that is when I was a kid. I've caught it on TV, and guess what scene it was when I caught it? It was that fucking guys going, "Nice party, isn't it?" With the blood like all over his face. You know, like all those like flash scenes of the ghost and everything. That was the first thing I've ever seen of The Shining. I remember like flipping through the TV and catching that part. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" It's just really fucked me up in a way. And like I'm watching the rest of the movie as it goes, so I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was this shit. Took me years to figure out what it really was. And then like another thing about the movie is like, how Jack ends up, freezing out in the maze and everything. Like that's another image that was really burned in my head, like in a fucked up way. Just that image of him frozen to death. So yeah, but The Shining will always be such an effective horror movie. I'm even a big fan of Doctor Sleep, even the way like how he did such a good job with the set pieces and that. Like I really felt like I was like at the Overlook Hotel again from 1980. But I really did enjoy that. But back in the movie here with their impossible fucking Monopoly game that they're playing here. This is where Christopher Lloyd's fucking with the one guy. Touch me one more time. He keeps poking him and shit. Touch me one more time. He keeps poking him. This is where fucking McMurphy's gonna start soaking him with that fucking sink set. That water hose set. George is saying, I always enjoyed Goosebumps because of those books, because of the books by R.L. Stine. Yeah, I grew up with that stuff. Say Cheese and Die, all those Goosebumps story. I even have some of the DVDs still actually in my collection. I think I have like maybe like 10 or less Goosebumps DVDs in my collection. Like some of them are even like triple feature things, like where it's like 3 episodes or something in one. But yeah, always, growing up with that stuff was great, man. Even you guys remember the Crypt Keeper animated series? You guys remember that? I feel like a lot of people usually, don't remember that or didn't see it, but I even watched that. Remember the Beetlejuice cartoon? It's another thing. I remember watching that. I think I even had toys for that. Now this is where McMurphy's gonna make the bet that he can lift that sink out of the ground, and he's gonna throw it through the fucking window, and they're gonna go watch the World Series and all this shit. I guess you do have to be an absolute nut to think that you could pull this off, right? Pull this thing out of the ground, throw it out the window, and just go take a stroll down to the World Series. So now he's taking bets. Course Martini's only gonna bet a fucking dime. I think that other guy, I forget his name, guy that's always pissed off with McMurphy. I think he bets like $25. Yeah, he's out bet $25. It's like $25. All right, you hard on. Get out of my way, son. You're using my oxygen. You know what I mean? Stephanie saying, as good as it gets almost is like a sequel to this, I think. That's another one I haven't seen in a long time. Cheswick was funny. Russell saying, Cheswick was funny. I had my cigarettes. I had my cigarette. And Scott is here. Shamarlos. What's up there, Scott? So we're about almost 39 minutes into the movie right now. And it's obvious that McMurphy cannot lift that fucking thing. Doesn't even have a chance. As Chief sits there. It's like, you know, with Chief sitting there watching him do that, like, I really feel like he's sitting there like, you know, I could lift that thing out of there. Like that, no problem, but I ain't fucking doing it. Like, you know, I think Chief is really just, yeah, he's one of those guys that's just listens to his own beat, you know, and I don't know, just does what's necessary when it's necessary. Yeah, everything's good, Scott. Hopefully everything's good with you too, man. So now this is where the guards are actually listening to the World Series on the radio. The second game of the 1963 World Series brought to you from Yankee Stadium. You know, another thing is that's so funny in this movie is the fact that he manages to talk all these patients into escaping and going out on a boat and shit. Oh man. I can't believe they actually like managed to survive. You know, they don't get themselves killed. You know, sink the boat and shit, something like that. So Scott had some chicken. Oh, see, that's that. Now it wouldn't be a day for Scott right there if he didn't have a fucking corn dog. So it's good to see. Corn dogging it up, Scotty. But yeah, George is saying that this scene makes me miss the good old days when I used to go to school. Love Jack in the biker film Hell's Angels on Wheels. That's another one I'd like to see. Honestly, I think as far as like, you know, going back to like Jack Nicholson's earlier films like that we're kind of mentioning here, like I do need to go back and revisit a lot of that stuff, and there's still a lot of it that I haven't even seen in full yet. So, which is, you know, that's another reason why I'm glad to see you guys mentioning this stuff in the chat. It's helping me make mental notes on this. You know what I pulled out of my collection recently that I'm like starting to like get the motivation for is I forgot I had the 4-film Dirty Harry set on Blu-ray, the first 4 movies or whatever. So yeah, sometime soon I want to actually go through all 4 of those. So Scott is watching Tales from the Crypt Ritual with Tim Curry, the 2002 movie. I think that was the last Tales from the Crypt movie that was even made, but not a perfect movie. But you know, I think that's a decent time capsule for that, you know, time period with horror movies in the early 2000s. At the same time, I think, you know, that whole 90s into the 2000s for the horror genre, that transition was a little bumpy, really. You know, you had you had a lot of horror films that were coming out that really were experimenting with new ways of doing things, and especially with CGI and effects and everything too. But you know what I think's actually hilarious though, whenever I do watch Ritual, is see the Crypt Keeper in the beginning with the fucking dreadlocks and everything. He's like talking Jamaican and shit. So that shit always cracks me up. That's good stuff. So now this is where they're trying to take the vote now, because McMurphy wants to change the work schedule so they can get their work done during the day, and then at night they can watch they can watch the World Series game. And yeah, he's getting people to vote, but the nurse a little fucking unfair with this bullshit. Honestly, like if I was McMurphy, like if I would like throw food at her or something. That's how pissed I would be. Or something, I'd throw like a bologna sandwich at her or something. Or like a fucking Twinkie in her face. So the voting becomes a tie, and she becomes completely unfair about that. Like she really is like demented in a way. Like really, like I think like if I was one of these patients, and the way she's talking to me, like there would probably be a lot of times where I wouldn't respond, and I would just sit there and stare at her, like you fucking kidding me right now? You know, like I don't know what to fucking say to you and your fucking bullshit. Just a very and just very insufferable person. What do you say, guys? You want to watch the ball game on TV, the World Series? Just raise your hand. That sucks. You can't get these guys that are so fucking far gone in their minds. You can't get them to raise their hand just to vote the fucking watch the World Series. The most simplest thing in the world, right? Yeah, people saying hello to each other. So yeah, Scott was saying that Rituals on YouTube. I actually have it on DVD in this like really weird horror movie set. It's like a 10 movie set, but that's how I have that in my collection. Not sure if that'll ever get upgraded to Blu-ray. Here goes another one from Russell here. 5 Easy Pieces with Jack. Says he loved that one. It's another one I haven't seen, but I'm familiar with it. I know exactly what you're talking about, Russell. So now he just needs one last vote. But he finally does get the chief to put his hand up. And again, still being a fucking bitch, man. Being totally unfair to these guys. I think it's such a fair exchange, too. It's like, as long as they're getting their work done, like, they should be able to do whatever they want, like, with the TV and watch the game, man. Like, later on when it's appropriate. He freaks out here. The chief, he raised his hand. He put his hand up. But what if McMurphy acted like fucking, like Jack in The Shining and this and stuff? What if he was like that, And every time you walk in, he was like, whenever you hear me typing or whenever you don't fucking hear me typing, I was like, just trying to think of like a line off the top of my head from The Shining. Imagine him like delivering all those lines like to her, and that is how funny that would be. I want that television set turned on right now. But I love how he plays this here though. Because she's fucking got her foot put down. She's firm on her decision. But he's relentless because he ain't gonna give up. He's not gonna fucking keep tolerating her shit. So he's gonna find a way to get over on her here. Which also shows how fucking smart Jack Nicholson is there. So he starts reciting the game as if it's actually on TV, and that starts catching the attention of the other patients. And ultimately, this ends up working in McMurphy's favor. And this really does get over on Nurse Ratched. George saying, not gonna lie, the scene's giving me flashbacks. I already read that. Damn, gotta get further ahead. Yeah, that's right, Russell. Rest in peace, Will Sampson. He did die way too early, man. I think it was like, what, shortly after, like, Poltergeist 2 is when he died, and, like, let's look it up. I think it was, like, early 50s for him, too, I think he died. But let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm wrong. So he was. I can't find him. That's the problem. Now this is where McMurphy's having this one-on-one interview with the main doctor, and he's explaining how Nurse Ratched is a cunt and all this shit. He's right though, man. Now the doctor's also explaining how he's not seeing any kind of like mental illness throughout him. He thinks he's normal as possible. He's like, "What do you want me to start like jerking off, doing all this crazy shit?" Will Sampson, he was 53 years old. He was so yeah, early 50s, man. Yeah. When did he die? No, oh no, he died a while ago. That's right, 87. Real electroshock therapist room. Stephanie saying, what would have done great working with David Lynch, or she would have done great work. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Trying to like picture her in like Blue Velvet now, something like that. But yeah, Stephanie's saying, Russell, yeah, these hospitals are the worst, and the ones in Silent Hill. Oh shit! You know, like this was the hospital before it turned into what it is at Silent Hill. Oh shit! It's like Jack Nicholson's like you know, person walking around with like no arms and like a baby head. Or what I'm trying to think of like characters from Silent Hill now and shit. All that weird imagery they have in it. But you know, I gotta say that movie's actually grown on me though, since we're like just mentioning that. Especially for like video game related horror movies. Like the original Silent Hill, even though in some ways too, like the movie kind of like I feel like especially with the way it starts out, it's kind of like what the fuck? Like it's just such a weird way to start a movie because it doesn't really explain much. It just starts doing shit. But I that movie's really grown on me a lot more, and it has a lot to do with like the visuals and the imagery throughout it, and even just how creepy it can be. And does provide a couple cool kill scenes, when that one lady gets her fucking skin ripped off. Doomhead or whatever his name, or it's Pyramid Head, like rips that lady's skin just completely off her body. Man, that's a vicious scene. But enough of Silent Hill for tonight. We'll save Silent Hill talk for when we have a stream for Silent Hill. It could happen. It could happen. Could even do I'm not a fan of the Resident Evil movies really, but I do like the first one, and like I even like how like occasionally like bad it can be. So now this is where McMurphy conjures up this plan here because the guys are supposed to be going out taking a trip in this yellow bus, but he manages to sneak on and start fucking driving it himself. So they're gonna have themselves a fucking day. I think they deserve it after all the bullshit they've had to deal with being locked up inside this place. He's gonna go pick up his lady of the night friend. So I don't know what else to call it. Picking up his lady of the night friend. Stephanie saying 12 Monkeys with Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis has many great asylum moments inspired by this, certainly. Yeah, I could see that. I never actually thought of that, but yeah, I agree with you. I can definitely see that now. I love that movie. I've always been a big fan of 12 Monkeys. I think I have a copy of that, like right here too. Blu-ray for yeah. Or no, this is actually the 4K. 12 Monkeys. So yeah, the end of next month, more than likely we'll be watching this on the channel. 29th December, somewhere around there. We're also saying I grew up with drinking Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I prefer it over like Coke or Cherry Coke, or I don't know. I just never really been like that much of a cola person. But to me, like I really do like I like root beer and Dr. Pepper. Like those are two big sodas for me. But I also these are small cans actually. I try to stick with these 10-ounce cans, I think they are. Or no, they're 7.5-ounce cans. Because I really don't like drinking a whole 12-ounce soda anymore. Like I always find myself dumping a lot of it out. So I buy the smaller cans. Dude, just do it that way. But all right, so now this is where they're at the boat. And they're trying to, some guy was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You can't take this boat out." And he's explaining how each one of them, the patients, is a doctor this, a doctor that. So it's making them sound like they're legit people and they know what they're doing. I don't even think like I wouldn't say like the girl that's with them like looks like a looks like a complete slut or anything, but she does look like she's there to, like, ride a train with all these guys or something. Like, she's gonna fuck all these guys on the boat. And yeah, old movie Mike. Mike saying Flowers in the Attic was off the chain when me and my sister watched that all the time on HBO as kids. Yeah, it's a creepy one, man. It really is. And I think you could say that's another movie that's a good example of, like, they don't make them like that anymore either. But that's another one for me, Mike, that, I grew up with that movie. I never, like, owned it or anything, but that wasn't, another one where I, just found it on TV one day and just got more and more creeped out by Louise Fletcher. Her and Hooper's Invaders from Mars. That was the one that really did it for me with her. It was like, and Stephanie saying, "Rest in peace, Val Kilmer, Iceman, aka Goalie, from Street Fighter." Yeah, right. I forgot he's in Street Fighter. Before Van Damme played the role in the movie, Game came first and was inspired by Top Gun. Yep. Heat 30th anniversary for that, I think, is December 15th. So that's probably going to be one that we'll be doing a stream for. Always been a huge fan of Michael Mann and, his style of directing. It's a movie that finally got a new release. And, a lot of people don't ever talk about, which is, like, technically his first movie is The Keep. You guys have seen The Keep, right? This is actually a bootleg Blu-ray I have right here. It's in a DVD case, but yeah, it's before it finally got a new release. This is how we had to rely on owning this movie, really. And honestly, I think one of the best things about this movie is the score from Tangerine Dream in this one. 1983 movie, The Keep. Definitely, anyone who hasn't seen this one, highly recommend checking that out. But apparently Michael Mann is not really a big fan of that movie. Apparently he has his own personal issues with it. Doesn't like to talk about it and shit like that. Stephanie saying, yeah, the previews for that show scared me as a kid. Old movie Mike, yeah. Oh shit, you gotta see Chinatown for sure. Yeah, great neo-noir mystery. Yeah, I really do want to see that one. I think that is a part of the Criterion collection, so there's a possibility I could end up grabbing that for the collection at some point. I still can't believe, like, they managed to get out on the boat and even managed to get this far out without, like, the Coast Guard, like, interrupting everything. But none of these guys have ever gone fishing before. It's trying to show them how to put the fucking hook through the eyes and everything. A couple of them, you can see, like, they kind of feel bad about putting a hook in the fish and shit. And the way Brad Dourif stutters in this movie is just, like, sounds so realistic. I can see why he won the award that he won for this movie. It's just, but I just think it's so crazy that, like, he wins such a big award in his first movie performance. And later on becomes, so well known and iconic for the voice of Chucky. Russell saying the actor who played Grady in The Shining was Alex's father in Clockwork Orange. Yeah, I swear to God, I'm glad you confirmed that, because for years, like, I would look at that and I would be like, is that the fucking guy from The Shining? Cause like that's a note. Like when you know, seeing that scene when I was a kid, like that scene, like really like traumatized me in a way because I didn't know what was going on until when I caught that on TV. And then like years later, I finally get around to seeing A Clockwork Orange, and I see him in it like occasionally, and I'm like, is that the same fucking guy? So thanks for confirming that, Russell. Oh shit, I almost hit. Gotta calm down. I almost hit the ban button by accident. But yeah, thanks for confirming that, Russell. I almost fucking banned you again by accident there. No, you got this goofy music playing. You know, they leave the boat up to what's his name, Sidney Lassig's character, because you know they're all down in the bottom part, you know, getting it on, doing their thing, getting groovy down there, and now no one is controlling the boat, and it is just fucking going. McMurphy wakes up, God damn it! I told you to hold the boat straight. They're all falling down. You can't leave these guys alone for 5 minutes. On top of you can't take them anywhere. It's just, you know. Oh, these poor souls. And Stephanie saying Frozen Jack, like Jack Frost. Love that movie. South Park did a good one on that one, so I never seen the South Park one, but I'd like to see that. It sounds like sounds like it could be interesting and funny. Sure, it's probably on YouTube. Juicy fruit. Yeah, it's when he finally says something, right? You're talking about Chief when he finally says some shit. Juicy fruit. Now they finally have control on the boat while beating the shit out of each other. And they got fishing rods just stuck all over the place. There's lines all interlined and crossing over. Meanwhile, they actually do have a fucking big ass game fish on the line. And now it's all becoming a spectacle for the public. You know, like what the public's just seeing like this random boat of weirdos just fucking. They're also like, you know, like they're really close to like rocks and shit too. Like they're so close to crashing into shit. Bunch of lunatics. Dude, see Danny DeVito holding this big ass fish. There goes the doctor and shit. Like, and they're all happy and proud. Like, look at the fish we caught. You guys happy, right? I think this is how they're going to try to decide to get McMurphy out of there or do something to or about McMurphy. And we got Akers is here. Stacy, what's up, Stacy? Good to see you here. Would have been a good Van Helsing. Oh, are you talking about what? The chief in this? Samson? Him as a Van Helsing, maybe? I don't know why I'm thinking that. But yeah. Good to see you here, Stacy. Hopefully all's well with you. We're also saying we had a film called Rituals in Canada. Yo, I'm so glad you mentioned that too. I actually bought that back in the summer. It's a Hale Holbrook movie. What the fuck is that, man? It's somewhere in like my new collection of movies. That's like a late 70s like survival movie, right? Like they're like stuck out. It's like it's also yeah, I know it's a Canadian horror movie. But you know what? I can't find it right now. But it is around here somewhere. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I bought that back in like maybe like August, something like that. I found a cheap copy of it. It was used, but actually in very, very fair condition. I know it's like out of print, goes for stupid money and everything, but I think I got the Blu-ray for like $11 shipped in really good condition. And I don't know the other actor's name that's in it. He's in David Cronenberg's Scanners. He's also in that slasher movie, Happy Birthday to Me, that tall guy with like the white hair, white gray hair. I know he's in that. But Rituals definitely is a good, horror or a survival movie with horror elements. That is a real interesting one. But yeah, Stephanie's saying, did you see Dangerous Animals? I haven't seen that yet. That's the one that came out in like back in like June, I think, like the beginning of the summer. I still haven't seen it. I know it is on Look Movie, so I do need to get around to seeing that. Yeah, it is another Jack Nicholson movie, The Terror, right? That Russell's mentioning there, Boris Karloff. And Little Shop of Horrors too, the original. So now the guys are actually getting a successful game of basketball, played here in the court as as patients versus the guards. But Chief keeps sticking his hand through the hoop. He's so tall, he's blocking the ball now. And he doesn't even have to run. He just strolls back up and down the court. Fucking Martini's wide open because no one wants to pass to him because all he's gonna do is take the ball and throw it at the fence. You can see the Chiefs like, he's all excited because he's doing well in the game. He actually has like some little pep in his step now. Stephanie's saying, yeah, I have a DVD of The Terror that is in a old school greatness. I'm pretty sure I have it too, but I think it's in like one of those like 20 or 50 movie sets with like a bunch of fucking like public domain movies or something like that. So in 68 days, McMurphy's supposed to be getting out of there. But now the guard's really breaking it down for him. See, I think that is like also like the part of his like situation and his deal. Even though he is restricted there to like a certain date, they have the final say, like whether or not he's going to be ready to leave on that day or not. So, yeah, you can't. Sorry, I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't be. If they told me like my day when I'm supposed to get out of there, I wouldn't. I would look at it as like, all right, that could happen, that could not happen. I don't know. I'm at the same time never been the type of person to be like, I don't know. I never get my hopes high for a lot of things. So I hate being let down by things. It's just why I don't let my hopes get high for a lot of things. I think, but all of us can, relate to that though. But back to the comments here. Russell was saying Scatman Crothers was funny in this. Yeah, when he loses control over letting them have a little fun inside the hospital and they fucking like trash the place. Here's a random movie for you with Scatman Crothers in it that's, in my opinion, a very obscure one. And it's about rats, killer rats. 1982 movie called Deadly Eyes. And Scatman Crothers is in it. They put fucking dogs in these like rat suits to make them look like giant rats and all this shit. But that's an interesting one. Definitely a unique, time capsule of its time in '82. They don't make them like that anymore. It's fun though. I know at one point, I think like they're at the movies and like all the rats start attacking people, but like all the people start freaking out so bad that they start trampling each other and they're actually killing each other from trampling each other even before the rats get a chance to kill them. It's such a crazy scene. But yeah, if you're bored and you're looking for something kind of stupid and fun to watch, and maybe you might be like high from smoking some weed, watch Deadly Eyes. That's a good one right there. That's one that'll leave you with some amusement. Now this is where McMurphy's finally getting the attention of the group. And well, maybe not everyone, but he's getting more attention than he usually does. And he's explaining how everyone here, like, you guys are not fucking crazy. like none of you guys are fucking crazy and all this shit. I think everyone's terrified of Ratchet though. That's one thing I think that's obvious. What's the guy with the beard? I think his name's Scanlon. Barely talks. Of course, fucking. Can I have my cigarettes, please, Miss Razzie? And Mr. Cheswick, he's always worried about his fucking cigarettes. So, Stacy, here we go. Stacy's got a question. Craven and Carpenter, all movies. What is your top three combined? Wow. I'll try to go quick on that. I'm gonna go with Craven, People Under the Stairs, Elm Street. Wes Craven movies. Fuck. I'm trying to do it off the top of my head, so I can't do it. The Thing, John Carpenter, Halloween, They Live. I need one more. Deadly Friend, Wes Craven. There, I'll say Deadly Friend. Yeah, these guys have like endless amounts of cigarettes, which is why they're always playing like card games with the cigarettes. But like Ratchet's making a big deal out of it. But it's obviously all getting started with Mr. Cheswick. Really. I want my cigarette. So Russell's saying our favorite Michael Mann film is Thief. Yeah, man. That is a really good James Caan movie right there. Another good one with a great Tangerine Dream score in it. But I know I did a stream for that one before in the past, but it's another one I do want to, do another stream for that again at some point because I'm a big fan of that one. I love everything from Michael Mann. Really do. Like even Manhunter. I think that's like definitely a big Michael Mann movie for me. In a way, Nurse Ratchet's hair gives me the vibe of the teacher from the Monster Squad, the cat lady, and they are always like meow meow cat lady. Like some guy kisses her at night. Just like I feel like her hairstyle just a little bit kind of reminds me of the cat lady from the Monster Squad. Oh, now she's gonna ration everyone's cigarettes. I'd be like, fuck you, man. Martini's like, I got a question. How are we gonna win our money back? Oh shit! Now all the games are over. Meanwhile, Christopher Louis' pants are on fire. Oh shit! No one knows. Like, everyone thinks he's just having a fit. He's having a freak out fit, but in reality, it's because he's getting burned by a cigarette in the cuff of his pants. You know, Mr. Cheswick ain't fucking playing around now. I ain't no little kid. Such realistic acting too in these moments. Whenever like there's something chaotic going on, it's such authentic acting in these moments. And then McMurphy finally punches the glass and takes the cigarettes and gives them to him. Gives them to Mr. Cheswick, and then they take him away. The guards take him away. I mean, like I highly doubt I would have acted like McMurphy, but like I would have been borderline like, yeah, I'm about to go take those cigarettes and give them to the dudes so we can have a calm situation here. I wouldn't punch the glass and get all crazy and shit like that though. Damn, yeah. Chief comes over and picks up the guard off of McMurphy. Like Chief's got McMurphy's back, man. Which is like really another thing that relates to how I was saying earlier in the movie. It's like, you know, with someone like Chief, it's the guy's not dumb and incoherent, can't understand things. He's just a certain person. You have to talk to him a certain way to get through to him. You can't just talk to him any ordinary way that you want. He's just one of those people. You have to approach him a certain way. And McMurphy was one of the people that was able to do that. We need this chair. Now that whole situation's done. Everyone's all fucking chained up and everything. Now everyone's got to be reevaluated. So yeah, Cheswick, Chief, and McMurphy are the three that really got in trouble here with all that shit. Sorry, I'm a little behind the chat, but would Jason be better goalie or salesman? I'm gonna have to say a goalie. I'm gonna say goalie. Do you like the Dream Team? What's the Dream Team? I'm not too sure if I know what that is, Stacy. Would Jack Nicholson as Van Helsing? Yeah, I could see that. I could see that working very well, actually. Oh shit. Russell saying, I'm actually watching Midnight Express with Brad Davis. Midnight Express. Why does that sound so familiar? Isn't that like a 70s or an 80s movie? Midnight Express. I know I've either seen it or heard it. Well, it's another movie here. Oh, Midnight Express. Yeah, this is where they're gonna fucking Mr. Cheswick's getting the needle and shit. I guess he's getting the dose, the Michael Myers Thorazine special dose. That's probably what they're gonna get. Man. Yeah, that's right. Midnight Express, 78 prison drama movie. That's one I'd like to see again. Yeah, Russell, you always mention some good movies, man. I mean, a lot of you guys do, but Russell's always mentioning some kind of like classic that's up my alley. But another one I actually watched for the first time in years because I picked up this 4K actually a couple of years ago. I never watched it. Is I guess this is like a coming of age drama movie or whatever, sports movie. Is Rudy. Finally watched this for the first time in years. Like what this come out in like the early '90s, '93, I think this came out. But yeah, it's coming of age like sports film kind of deal with Sean Ashton in it. But yeah, really did enjoy seeing this again. And yeah, it looked really good in 4K. Now we're at the juicy fruit scene here. He gave him the fucking gum, and now he's getting him to talk and he's shit. He's completely in shock that he's talking right now. So they think that you're deaf and you're dumb, and he's like, Jesus Christ, you had them played the whole time. To hold, like, I don't know, man, to like be like legit like that, acting like you're deaf and dumb and all that for that long, like some dedicated shit right there, right? Stephanie saying Jason is a goalie unless you are in part two. He has the burlap bag with one eye. I prefer that Texas Chainsaw look more. And Friday the 13th part two is my favorite one out of the whole franchise, though. So yeah, I'm drinking a lot of soda tonight. Need to stop. Need to cut back on that. Poor Cheswick's been thorazined out, I guess, or lithiumed out, or whatever. Drinking team is funny. Yeah, I don't think I've heard. I really, it's not ringing a bell for me, so I'm pretty sure I've never even seen it. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Stacy's mentioning here. Would Laura Linney be a good Nurse Ratchet? That would be interesting. And you know how I'm actually basing that off of? Wait, Laura Linney. I'm thinking of a different actress, that Laura Flynn Boyle or something. But no, I know you're talking about now. Laura Linney's the blonde-headed lady from like Ozark or whatever. Yeah, I think she could be a good Nurse Ratchet, honestly. Like she's that type of actress that I don't know, man. She can really go from like 0 to 60 in a role, especially like seeing her in that Ozark show actually too. Like in the later episodes of that, she became quite a scary character actually in that show. So she's definitely someone that can handle a role like Nurse Ratchet. I think so. It's a good mention there, Stacey. Oh, I skipped the comment here. Jack Nicholson's son Ray, one called Borderline. That's another one I haven't seen that I've heard of though. But this is when McMurphy's getting the electroshock therapy. He's got his mouthpiece in. It's crazy how they do shit like this, It really is. Absolutely absurd that we used to do this to people. Stacy was also saying maybe Ray Nicholson could play Jack for a program on a making of The Shining. Could see that. And Russell was saying Jack's first film was Cry Baby Killer, right? And I haven't seen that one either. Fletch Lives underrated. I'm a Memoirs of an Invisible Man fan. You know what? That is like the only John Carpenter movie I don't have in my collection. That is like the only one that I need to complete everything of his in my collection. But I also haven't seen that in a very long time. So I actually would like to see it again and also have it to complete the Carpenter collection. But I've never really been the biggest fan of it. But, I still feel like it's something I need for my collection and want to see again. It's one Carpenter movie for me, I always find a struggle to get through is that The Village of the Damned. That's just one movie when I watch it, I'm always like, fuck, like, why did I put this on? I don't, just doesn't. It's just that one rare Carpenter movie where I'm just like, yeah, boring as shit. But, I know people like that movie, though. It's definitely fans of it, stuff like that. So that's another thing too. Like with the point of where we're at in this movie, he really does have a lot more of these patients, feeling more joyful and full of laughter and everything. And that's also getting under the skin of Nurse Ratchet and everything. And she's, feeling like she's losing her place, as someone, an authority figure. They were giving me 10,000 watts a day, man. Hot to try. Nick Murphy's a fucking nut. Yeah, Russell saying Deadly Eyes Canadian rap film. Yeah, right, right. To me, like, Deadly Eyes is not like by any standards some like award-winning horror movie, but it's just so entertaining with how absurd some of that movie can really be. And like occasionally you can see that it is like a dog wearing a rat suit, which is fun too. So, then watching people getting attacked by giant rats in a movie theater is pretty funny. And Russell's mentioned. Oh, you know what? That's funny you mentioned that one, Russell. I finally saw that movie for the first time just a few months ago. That's what you're mentioning there. First film I saw as a child was The Killer Shrews with James Rasco. I finally saw that a few months ago. It's actually on YouTube. I think that if I remember correctly, that's how I watched it because I know that's not a movie that's like easily or easy to obtain on like a physical copy. And we got Greg is here. Mr. Brewer. What's up, Greg? Good to see you here, man. Sorry it took me so long to get back to most of your Instagram messages, but yeah, everything's all good, and it's good to hear from you, and hopefully things are good. Hopefully things are good with you too. But timestamp, in case you want that, timestamp is currently 1 hour 31 minutes and 7 seconds. So probably got like a little over a half hour or less to go here. Or no, where am I at? I'm at 140. 138.41 is where I'm at, right? That's where I'm at. 138.41 and counting. Oh yeah, Stacy. Meant to mention this to you because I don't think you were at the last stream. The director of Lady in White. I don't know if he watched the whole stream that I did for that movie, but he left me a really nice comment. That the director Frank LaLaggia, I think his name is, or something like that. But like I double checked the account and everything. Like it looks like it's really him and everything. But yeah, he left a really nice comment on the in the comment section. So maybe he watched some of the stream, but like I just found that to be very surprising when I saw his comment down there like that. Just made that stream even better. And that's I'm thinking about that now too. It's the first time I ever had a director leave a comment on something that I've done as far as doing a watch party. You know, something as simple as a watch party. Nah, it's all good. It's all good, Greg. You know, better late than never. And if you can't make a stream, there's always another one. So yeah, you're always good there, bro. You'll never have anything to worry about with that. You're all good, man. But now, you know, McMurphy, you know, it's like late at night here. This is where, you know, him and Chief are actually, they're talking more. Like, you know, they're actually having like real conversations now. So I don't know the guy that they're talking about right now, if it's his father or if it was another patient that he was with at one point in this place. I kind of forget this part. But Stacy's saying, does the next Elm Street need a Loomis type character? Yeah, I'm gonna say no, but I'm also gonna say we don't need another Elm Street movie. So, but you know, if it were to happen, I would say it wouldn't be necessary though. There goes Scatman Brothers. Now, get your ass back in bed. You understand? What if you walked up to McMurphy and he's like, you know, you're gonna be in this movie with your son, and me and him are gonna have this thing called The Shining. You know, he starts saying some shit like that. You'll see. In a couple years, it's gonna happen. Also saying that Michael Mann's telly film Jericho's Mile was his first film. I've never seen that one, actually, Russell. I've never seen that one. So, yeah, I'll have to look into that because I know next to nothing about that one. I just know The Keep was like, I think that was like his first attempt at a horror movie or whatever. So, and at the same time, somewhere around that point of him doing a first film and stuff. So now is where Scatman's going to allow all the dancing girls to come in. The ladies of the night are coming to hang out, and they got some top shelf stuff to be drinking. So they're going to have a party. Stacy's saying the Dream Team, they are a comedy where they leave the loony bin. I'll have to look into that. I'm pretty sure I've never seen it or have much knowledge of it. Sometimes I'm a little better, like when I see like a poster for a movie too. That helps me to remember things. So I don't know, my memory with movies and information sometimes gets a little foggy. So he gets life for smuggling hash. William Hayes. Okay. Yeah, some of them are like the Cuckoo's Nest chaps. That sounds interesting, though. All right, so we currently have 7 people in the chat. Brad Davis, he died of AIDS. It's medication time. Yeah, I think this is where they're gonna start giving out random like medications to each other and shit. Midnight Express is a prison term for escape. I can see that. Twin brother from the other is a classic creepy kids movie. Yeah, you know it's funny that you mentioned that. I have that in my collection. My mom's my mom's uncle wrote that movie. I remember I forget how like me and her got into that conversation, but like I think I was like asking her if she ever seen the movie, and then she was like, "Yeah, I forgot my uncle Tom. He was actually a writer. He used to write for like movies and stuff in like the 50s and 60s." And she's like, "He wrote that movie," and I looked up the name, and yeah, his name was on there and everything. So like I thought that was pretty interesting that my mom's uncle actually wrote a movie. But that's the movie he wrote. That's the movie with the two twin boys. The one's like dead and the other one's not. And he still sees his brother's ghost and everything. And it's like a psychological horror movie, and you have to like decipher which one's the ghost and which one's the living boy or whatever. But that's another movie. It's another good example of, you could say, like, they don't make them like that anymore. But always been a fan of that one, Russell. The other, I think it came out in 1971 or two, something like that. I have it on Blu-ray buried in my collection somewhere, but yeah, I always found that to be interesting that apparently my mom's uncle wrote that movie. This is where they're about to get caught. About to get caught with all the partying and shit. Oh, somebody fucked up. Hot to Trot film with Bobcat. That's his name, so hard to say. Bobcat Goldthwait. What? I can never say his fucking name. Bobcat, the talking horse. He has such a strange name. It does not roll off my tongue at all for some reason. Yeah, it's good to see Greg. Stacy saying I like Buconia. That reminded me of Close Encounters meets Misery. That sounds interesting. Like when the characters are crazy. We don't have too much longer in this movie. I'm surprised they managed to stay as quiet as they did, even though they did fuck up and make a bunch of noise and spilled shit everywhere and broke things. I'm gonna pull that movie out now. The other. Yeah, I can't even remember my uncle's name or my mom's uncle's name for the movie, but yeah, that's the movie right there you're talking about. The other, Russell. And what was his name? The writer, Thomas Tryon. His name was. That was my mom's uncle, Thomas Tryon. So he's the one who wrote the actual novel. He wasn't like the screenwriter. He wrote the actual novel for this movie. It's his involvement. But as far as I'm concerned, that's like the closest tie that I have to anybody being involved in movies in my family. So apparently, that was my mom's uncle. This is where you actually see Michael Berryman. You know, you don't really get to see him that much in this movie, and he's drinking the alcohol through the straws and everything. Jesus Christ, everyone's getting all fucked up now. And it really is just a matter of when's Ratchet gonna come walking in. And also saying love Jack in the Pledge. Stacy saying that was also or that was a great one to do. And glad you did, and glad he liked it too. Yeah, I was just really surprised. Like I was like, what? Like, yo, I think this is the director. And like I clicked on his account, and he had other things like uploaded on there related to his movies. I could see his face and everything. I was like, pretty sure that's actually him. Like, holy shit. Let me see what he actually wrote. I'll read it real quick. I'll pull it up, see what he wrote again. Waiting for this tablet to load. So, yeah, he didn't leave like a super long comment, but yeah, he did leave a very nice comment. He says, "Hey, Sean, I really enjoyed watching your reactions and listening to your comments. Your passion for movies is more than evident, and you're sort of a fella I'd enjoy having a beer with. Take care." So yeah, you know, I saw that, and I clicked on the name and everything. I could see like this is his channel and everything right here. But yeah, you can tell that's definitely him. That's it's definitely the correct person there. But yeah, just really, I guess he might have been. I bet you he was probably like on YouTube, like searching like stuff like that he did, like movies that he did, maybe even just like Lady in White stuff. And I bet that probably popped up, and he probably was curious and started watching it. But yeah, that was just really surprising when I got like the notification for a comment and I saw that. I was like, "Am I seeing things right now? Like, it's really the director like leaving a comment here on this?" Like, yeah, I'd glad you mentioned that one, Greg. Easy Rider. As I was saying a little bit earlier too, like when I think of Jack Nicholson, like top performances, like off the top of my head, it's this, The Shining, and even Easy Rider, which is actually a movie I would like to do a stream for at some point. Love Dennis Hopper in that movie too. Yeah, Mickey Rourke. You guys a fan of that movie with Robert De Niro, Mickey Rourke? What's it called? Angel Heart. You guys a fan of that one? That's a movie I have in my collection. I've watched it probably like two or three times in my life, but like I feel like sometimes it's a movie that is like so psychological that it can be a little hard to understand at times. But I feel like that movie's like still growing on me in a way, and at the same time, like that's a movie I never hear anyone ever talk about either. But I'm just curious to see what you guys think of that one, since the Russell just brought up Mickey Rourke there. Peter and Dennis didn't get along. Anyone ever using real drugs? Stacy saying Michael Keaton, Christopher Lloyd, Dream Team on the poster. They look kind of crazy in those straight jackets in a loony looking way. Stephanie saying Dennis Hopper in Apocalypse Now. Look at me wrong. It's even though Dennis Hopper has such a brief and minor role in that movie, like his role stands out so well. Just Dennis Hopper was a perfect type of guy to play that person that's just lost their goddamn mind, and like it really makes you wonder, like how much acting does he really have to do that? Because I feel like it's so natural for him to just be out of his fucking mind. Also saying Peter built the chopper and said it was a bitch to ride. Wow. Greg saying, was Dennis Hopper crazier in Chainsaw 2 or Speed? Wow. That's actually a good question, Greg. It's not an easy one. Jesus Christ. I might have to give it the Speed just because of the fact that I'm pretty sure that like he has more dialogue in that too. I feel like in Chainsaw too, like he doesn't even like talk too much. Like besides like the random yelling he'll do, like I'm bringing it down, boys, and I don't know. I just feel like there's like more interesting dialogue and Speed that would just kind of comes off as making him a bit more out of his mind. Even though what he's doing in Chainsaw 2 is pretty much out of his damn mind. So he's got two fucking chainsaws, that's not a. I mean, if you're trying to answer that seriously, it's not too easy, I think. But I'm gonna go with Speed. LSD, Greg. So now, what's their plan is to go to Canada, right? When they break out of here, I think they're just like their night before party and all this shit. Dennis played a real photojournalist in Apocalypse Now. Stephanie saying, "Don't forget Blue Velvet, right? Dennis Hopper at level 10, crazy." Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying a little bit ago too. Like, can you imagine someone like like Louise Fletcher in a movie like Blue Velvet? Like, I think she could work well in a movie like that. Stacy saying, "Magnificent Best Picture winner wins Best Actor, Actress, Director, and Picture." So Russell's going to go with Chainsaw too. I just really no wrong answer. It's a good question too, though. But I'm going to base it on, I'm going to go with Speed, basing it on the 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 dialogue and everything. And I think Dennis Hopper is pretty sharp with his delivery and dialogue too, actually, in Speed. And I'm not even the biggest fan of Speed, to be on top of it. Like, to be honest with you guys, like, Speed's not a movie. Like, I don't know. Like, I remember seeing it in the theater when it came out. Like, I think the movie's, like good 7 out of 10, but like, it's never been a movie that I've been like super into. Because it seems like a lot of people really do like Speed. They really do like that movie. I just think it's a good average 7 out of 10 movie. So now it's the next day. The guards are showing up. Nurse Ratchet has got a different kind of pep in her step as she's walking into this fucking disaster. Of course, McMurphy's waking up. They botched the shit out of their plan. But the window is wide open. That's the fucking beauty of it, right? The window is wide open. The fucking security gate's open. If they didn't get so fucked up, they could have got out. So, fucking bunch of idiots. Look on Christopher Lloyd's face. Jesus Christ. The guy's Scanlon that's waking up. He's kicking some random girl that he's sleeping with. Yeah, I'm bringing it all down to hell, boys. Argumentative relators with dementia act like these loonies. Russell saying that the Warriors and the Wanderers were filmed at the same time. I guess probably back to back is what you're saying there, but that's interesting though. Oh man, they walked in on Scatman. Scatman was trying to get his groove on, trying to get his thing greased up. Move your ass, McMurphy, and bring Dracula with you. He calls Chief the black guy called Chief Dracula. Bring Dracula with you. This is not good. Greg saying you have two legendary actors, horror icons together and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Jack Nicholson and Brad Dourif. Yeah, right. Exactly right. Yeah, it's like when you look at the other like character actors in it, like the guy from I don't know his name, the guy that was in Ghost, that was playing the Ghost with Patrick Swayze. That's in this. Sidney Lassick, another character actor. Those actors obviously passed on a little bit earlier than other people or whatever. But imagine if those guys didn't pass on when they did. Like I think that those two alone right there could have been in so many other good movies too. Michael Berryman's like the one guy I always forget about him being in this movie because it's just such a minor role for him. They haven't found Billy yet. That's the only one they're looking for, right? We gotta find Chucky. Where's Child's Play? Where's Chucky at? What if she went in there and it was him? It was Charles Lee, right? Is the Chucky doll. Fuck you. Said something like that. Just like that lady's like, oh, what an ugly doll. And fuck you. Oh, Billy's getting his whistle wet. Ratchet is pissed. Everybody starts clapping. Yeah, Billy fucking lost his virginity. Russell's saying, I love the Wild Angels of Peter Fonda, Nancy Sinatra, and Bruce Stern. I've never seen that one, but that's a killer cast right there. So yeah, you're a fan of Angel Heart. I need to watch it again. It's because it's not a movie. It's not like I hate the movie or anything. It's just sometimes I find it hard to like get into and just like a little hard to fully understand like what's even going on in it too. But I mean, I have it in my collection, so it's just something I got to go back and watch and just pay a bit more attention to, I guess you could say. Yeah, Stacy saying, yeah, that's really cool that Frank Lolagi did a good job with that film, and glad he was happy that everyone was enjoying the movie. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I was like a director or like a someone of that status, like I would go on like YouTube and search my movies and see what people are saying about things. Like I'd want to like hear about that. And it's a shame that more like people that are of like celebrity status. It's a shame that like more people like that don't like leave random comments on like fans channels and stuff. Because like, is it really gonna kill you to take a minute to like say a couple sentences to a fan? You know.
Drag you in there by force.
This is where Billy's trying to come up with an excuse of why he was in that room having sex with her. But he knows that she is going to go to his mother about it because apparently his mother is friends with Nurse Ratched.
Everybody?
Now he's blaming it on everybody. You don't know what to fucking say. Billy is a very bad liar, unfortunately, and that comes out with his stuttering, which just is what it is. But, you know, Brad Dourif, Jesus Christ, such a good fucking performance in this moment. McMurphy. Oh, he has to rat out McMurphy. The one guy he probably didn't really want to rat out either, you know? I don't know. If I was like locked up with all these guys, I'm telling you, I'd be hanging out with McMurphy, getting in trouble. I'd be with McMurphy the whole way. Like, oh, you want to break out of here? Let's go. All right, you break the window, I'll right behind you, McMurphy. Stephanie's saying, Stacy, I can relate with that arguing with crazy. The crazies in my life feels like a real life Charles Schultz Peanuts nightmare at times. Jesus Christ. No. Poor Billy. Man, Ratched, man, she is fucking cold blooded, just heartless, stone cold blooded bitch. I mean, yeah, all right, so rules are rules. Rules are fucking broken, but like, come on, man. Like, all this shit's fixable. That's the thing. Like, come on. Like, I think the punishment's a bit severe here. But nobody knows that Jackson, I mean, McMurphy still has a set of keys to get out the window. Punches the black guy. There is one of his ladies of the night is waiting for him outside. Uh-oh. So we'll probably have this stream done here in like the next 10 minutes, something like that. So that's, yeah, not much left in the movie. Yeah. But yeah, now the consequences of Nurse Ratched and her fucking overbearing fucking punishments has made Billy fucking cut himself severely. See, that's the thing too. Like throughout the whole movie, Nurse Ratched has been playing with these people like this. These people that are just unfortunately suffer from like a mental illness, and you're playing with these people, man. Like that is just not someone that should be in that title of job that she has. And now McMurphy's fired the fuck up. He starts strangling her now. I would start strangling. Yo, honestly, I don't think I'd put my hands on her, but I'd want to strangle the shit out of her too, though. You know, that's some good acting right there too. In that moment with strangling her, it looks like he's really strangling the shit out of her. I kind of wish he killed her though. Honestly, I really wish he did kill her in that moment. No, You know what? Yeah, the Mickey Rourke film, Barfly. I think that's actually like available in physical media now. I don't know. I'll have to look that up, but like that's one that I'd like to finally see myself. I know that's been a more obscure one over the years. So now we got through that scene here. Moving on here to laying some cards for cigarettes again. So yeah, it looks like that's another thing. I don't even know how Nurse Ratched still has her fucking job after all that. I think she should have definitely been fired for the fact that somebody fucking killed themselves under, her supervision. Uh, you definitely got to say too, though. First time I saw this, and you see what the end of this movie leads up to, very surprised. Did not see that coming. Man, Nancy Sinatra sure has some boots. Her and her fucking. She's lucky she's only got a fucking neck brace on. They should have her hanging from the rafters of the fucking ceiling in there. That's where she should be at. Huge fan of biker films. Being an ex-biker. Russell's saying Beyond the Law, 1993 with Charlie Sheen is a pretty good biker movie. I've heard of that one before. I've never seen it though. Yeah, Easy Rider was and is a monumental is monumental in film. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest won those awards and many others. Yeah, I think a total of 5, something like that. Stephanie's saying, I have a movie called 1968 on DVD. It looks like a biker movie, but I have not seen it yet. Russell's saying Dennis Hopper has a small role in Hoboken Hollow, based on the Texas slave ranch from years ago. Okay. It's like one movie I actually can't stand Dennis Hopper in is Waterworld. I can't do it. Well, I could probably even say that. What's that? The Super Mario Brothers movie, isn't he in that? I think. Oh yeah, 5 Academy Awards, Best Picture in '75. My DVD cover says so. Too bad, Google. Fuck you, Google. You're bullshit. Dennis Hopper, Jack Nicholson should have made a 1990s team up type movie. Yes, I agree. I mean, at that time, they were both still relevant actors, too. They were both getting roles for big movies, too. So, yeah, that would have been nice to see. Kind of a missed opportunity when you think on that now. Here goes Stephanie mentioning Waterworld 2, Hopper versus Jacko. Can we leave Costner out of this one? Yeah, I'd see that. I'm with you there, Stephanie. Right, Greg. This is where Chief is going to start putting his couple of brain cells together. It looks like it's too late for McMurphy. And the Chief is fed up. Resurrection County is a brutal film. That's another one I haven't heard of. I'm getting like a filmography kind of lesson here tonight with some movies. So watch out, Jack. Chucky's back. Actually, I have a bump. It's on the other side of my room. I have a Child's Play 2 bumper sticker that says that Jack's back thing on there. Like, sorry, Jack. Chucky's back, or whatever the fuck it is. I really want a Kid Sister doll and the rights to a new Chucky movie using it. Yeah, that's a great hero. So now you see the scar on McMurphy's head. See Chief actually sympathizing with him. the first time you really get a different kind of emotion out of him too. Because Chief is just such a reserved person. But this really is like a very iconic ending throughout all cinema and movies. This really is like a very big, memorable ending. I think throughout like all fans, movie fans, cinephiles, whatever you want to call it. What if he just whispered in his ear and he's like, I'm going to be in this movie called Poltergeist 2, and I'm going to save that little fucking girl. And then takes the pillow, puts it over his face. But I don't know. In your opinion, everyone, does he do the right thing here? He cared about him. That was his friend. He didn't want to see his friend suffer like that and live that way. I think that would be tough for me to do that, but I think that is the right thing to do. Lobotomizing someone is only a few steps away from really killing someone. Am I right? I mean, doing that to someone is like really like snipping someone's personality out of them. You do that, what do you have left? It's just a shell. McMurphy is out of his misery for good now. You get that cuckoo music in the background with the little random drum just pounds here and there. Michael Berryman was great in The Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, I think that is like, the one role from Berryman that stands out. Like when I hear his name, that's what I think of, The Hills Have Eyes. I remember Teddy Ruxpin stopped selling because of Child's Play, right? Yeah. I actually kind of forgot about that, Greg, but you're right. I had a Teddy Ruxpin, actually. I did. I even had the what's the one, my buddy or whatever. I even had that. I had the My Pet Monster. I had all of that shit. This is where the chief musters up the strength to lift that fucking marble sink out of the floor. That motherfucker is heavy, dude. That's probably like lifting like 3 people right there. He's carrying that thing like it's nothing, lifting over his fucking head. Smash! You're free! You're Christopher Lloyd that's freaking out. Oh, what a good movie. So there it is, everyone. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at 50 years old today. So that'll do it for the movie. But yeah, so it looks like we have 6 people left in the chat. Just want to make sure I did not miss anyone to say hello at least. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and end this one now. But we'll be right back here again on the channel on the 22nd for Martin Scorsese's Casino. It'll be the 30th anniversary for that one. That'll be a bit of a long stream. Expecting at least probably 3 hours with that one, something like that, which is, necessary, as you guys should know. But But yeah, I want to thank you all very much for hanging out with me here tonight for the 50th anniversary for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Definitely had a good time going back and seeing this one again. So, but yeah, other than that though, yeah, I think that's covering everything. So, but yeah, thank you all very much for hanging out with me here tonight. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you all in the next one, everyone.